This is Sentido Apollo Palace tour and review. Hello, so I'm just currently outside the front lobby, but I'll take you for a little tour around the hotel and at the end give you my review. When you arrive, this is where you will be checking in. The lobby service is 24/7. The main reception joins onto the lobby bar. The bar is open from 9 o'clock to 11 p.m, but just make sure if you are all inclusive, not everything on the list is included. It's what's got an asterisk next to it on the menu. In the lobby area, there's lots of seating inside, but also outside, and outside is often in the evening where they have music or some entertainment. Next to the lobby bar, you have your first pool. This pool is gorgeous because it has lovely cushioned seating. I'm not gonna lie, this is the reason we actually ended up booking this hotel, because the cushions looked so plump and comfy. As you can see, not many seats are reserved. Not many seats do get reserved early in the morning, which is a nice thing about this hotel. They do ask you not to really reserve seats before 10 o'clock. However, there are the odd few. This swimming pool also comes with a pool bar. It's not necessarily a swim-up bar, but there are bar chairs and bar stools next to the pool and in the pool. We have come to our first a la carte restaurant, which you do have to book, and we met a Polish couple last night who described this particular restaurant as Michelin star worthy. So take that as you will. They did say, however, you had to book like 4 days in advance because it gets booked very quickly. So when you arrive, just make sure you book in your a la cartes. Depending on how long you stay determines how many a la carte restaurants you can visit within the week. Whether that's like us, we only got one because we're here 5 nights, and then it differs depending on how long you are actually staying. So our room is in the main hotel area, which is near the lobby where I just showed you. However, there are 2-story buildings, little villa-y type buildings, apartments throughout the complex. I do think where our room is has recently been refurbished because it does look newer. Everything in the room looks a bit more fresh. It does not look dated. We did pay £15 extra for an upgrade. However, Mum and I have found the room very small and not very spacious. So do keep that in mind. This is the pool we have spent most of our time at. It is the adult pool, so it is quieter. There is some music playing, which I don't normally like, but it is subtle and played from the bar. We've really enjoyed the adult pool. It's been quiet. The water is a little bit chilly. Your body does have to adjust to it. It is a bit like ooh, ee, ah, ah, as you get in. I have dipped my toes into the other pool at the lobby bar. It is a bit more bearable there. However, it doesn't mean we haven't been in the pool. We have been in the pool. We just have to adjust to it. And yeah, it's fine when it's very hot because sometimes you just need refreshing. In this adult pool area, there is also a hot tub. Although the pool is chillier, the hot tub, because it's smaller, warms up very quickly. So that is a decent temperature at the start of the day, but as it gets to the end of the day, it gets quite hot. Next to the adult pool is an a la carte breakfast. It is part of the all-inclusive. However, you do have to book first. If you just show up, you will be asked to pay, but if you book at the restaurant or at the reception a day prior or a couple of days prior, it is free on your all-inclusive. We tried this out yesterday. It wasn't my favorite, it wasn't the worst, but we did try it out, and if you want to find out what I got up to over the last 5 days, then please head over to my other video after this, which is more of a vlog style, what I got up to, what I enjoyed, what we spent the day doing, hint, mainly sunbathing. But please head over to that video after this one. I am currently in the gym, which is a little diddy. However, I've been down here a lot because this is where the toilets are located for the adult pool, and every time I walk past there is literally no one in here. So if you do use the gym, I don't think you'll be waiting for machinery or waiting for the weights. I think it will be okay. It is on the small side, but it's got what you need. It's got some lifting things, it's got some running things, it's got some stretching things, all the technical terms here. Next to the a la carte breakfast, there is a bio farm where they grow their own vegetables. On our first day, we were able to go into here and pick some aubergines, peppers, mint, and other herbs, and it was actually really fun. It obviously isn't open every day because you can't be picking vegetables every day, else there'll be no vegetables left, and I'm guessing it's seasonal because not every veg and fruit grows throughout the whole season, but it was very enjoyable, and definitely look out for it if you are here. Once again, if you want to see what that was like, that is in my vlog, which is going to be in a different video. We are now at the water park, the water slides. It is obviously well used in the afternoon, but I'm doing this in the morning because I didn't want to get children in my video or people sunbathing in my video, because I just didn't think that was very respectful. So this is the activity pool where the animation team are based. Here you'll find aqua gym, you'll find water polo. It's usually where the kids are playing. It is a family resort as well, which I think is nice because it's got, you know, your more quieter aspect, but then it's also got your family fun as well. So a bit of both worlds. What's nice about this pool is there is a baby pool that's very shallow, but it's got a gate, so you're not going to lose your baby into the deeper water. So if you have got little ones, which I have seen about, this is very useful for them. The main bar for the activity pool is also where the evening entertainment is held. You'll find mini disco, you'll find the animation team, you'll find your evening entertainment. It's also right next to the main restaurant, the buffet restaurant, which is breakfast, lunch and dinner. So the main restaurant is buffet style, breakfast, lunch and dinner. We've actually really enjoyed the buffet here. It's very flavoursome, there's lots of options. Me being a fussy eater, I found a lot to eat. There's also a lot of spacing for seating. Being in there just now for breakfast, looking around, it looked very busy, but every time we've been in there, it's not been too busy, it's not been too long a wait to get your food. There is a little shop where you can get some snacks, you can get your souvenirs, you can get your lilos and your floaties if you do need it, if you have forgot it, which is quite useful. The shop is the Italian restaurant where we ate last night. We decided upon our one a la carte would be the Italian. It was really enjoyable. I'll show you some footage. Once again, if you want to see what we got up to, there is the vlog that you can watch after this. There is a kids club open 10 to 1 and 3 till 6 p.m. Obviously, I'm not going to go in there as there is no phones and cameras permitted due to policies, which I think is a really good idea. There is also a babysitting service if you need it, and there's lots of equipment on the complex as well, which I will show you now, that children can use. I have had to change camera due to running out of memory, but the tour will go on, and if you are enjoying this so far, make sure you stay till the end because I will be giving you a pros and cons list of what I have liked and disliked at this hotel, so make sure you stay till the end. Behind the restaurant, if you're feeling energetic, there is mini golf, there is volleyball, there is a football pitch, and there is also a basketball court as well. So we are currently on the beach. Mum did read somewhere that you have to pay €6 for the sunbeds. However, I have just seen signs for drinks, so there, if you are all-inclusive, there is somewhere you can get drinks on the beach. It's not really the best sand, it's not really sand at all, it's kind of like a light dusting of sand on the ground. You wouldn't be building sandcastles anytime soon, and there are a few stones, but it does look pretty. You've got the mountains in the background and it's a very nice view. There's a little pier you can walk out into the sea to, and it does look very chill. You can walk to the beach through the hotel. It's not too far and it is an easy walk. I'm just going to pop my feet into the sea just to test out, just for you, how chilly it is. But people seem to be walking into it quite easily. Oh, it's quite refreshing actually. No, it's enjoyable. It's an enjoyable temperature. I actually think the sea is possibly slightly warmer than the adult pool. So if you do want to come outside of the complex, there is a few things. We've just come across a bar where you can get cocktails, takeaway cocktails. So I might see if they do Pawn Star martinis there later. Once again, check it out on the vlog after this. So we've just arrived back at the front entrance and back to the lobby. So our room was a deluxe double room. It had a double bed, it had a safe, it had a mini fridge, although the mini fridge was not stocked. It had a bathroom, a shower, everything you could really possibly need, basic things for a hotel room. Obviously when you're on holiday, you're not really spending most of your time in the room, so it just had everything you really need. Ours was freshly refurbished, but we did pay extra for an upgraded room. It had a balcony with some comfy chairs and also a sofa to sit on in the room. If you are finding this video helpful so far, please think about liking, commenting and subscribing because it really helps the channel and means that I can do more of these videos. I'm now going to move on to my personal pros and cons list, what I liked and did not like about this hotel. However, as I always say, take these lists with a pinch of salt. What I may like, you may not like, and what you may like, I may not like. So it's all personal preference. Just have a listen and take it with a pinch of salt. The first con is wasps. There are a lot of wasps at this hotel in the day and in the evening, especially if you've got a drink around the sunbeds or if you want to eat outside. However, I have found them not to be stingy wasps so much. I haven't really heard anyone be stung yet, although I haven't really spoken to everyone at the hotel complex, but there are a lot. The bar closes at 11 p.m. for all-inclusive people. You can get drinks after 11 p.m, however you have to pay. I'm used to you're allowed to have all-inclusive, not just time limited or specific drink limited, because here there is a menu of cocktails you can have, drinks you can have, but only the ones with an asterisk are included with the all-inclusive, and if it's not, you have to pay for them. There is no minibar. Once again, maybe this is something that we've been spoilt with in the past, but all-inclusive usually comes with a minibar with a couple of Fantas or Cokes or Sprites or something in the fridge if you are going up to your room and you need a refreshment. But this hotel, you do not get that minibar extra thing, that extra experience. It is empty, unfortunately. We also came to the hotel and there was no water, and usually there's water. However, a lady did come around the other day asking about what you were enjoying and not enjoying about the hotel, or what could be better, and we told her that we didn't have any water in our room, and she said, oh no, that's strange, usually you're meant to have water upon arrival and then they change it. So when we got back to our hotel that evening, there was water in our room. So there is water, just not your Fanta and your Sprites and your beers and what other stuff you get in a mini fridge. Mum and I personally thought for an upgrade that we would get a bigger room. Yes, it's nice that it was refurbished. Yes, it's nice that it wasn't, as some hotel rooms are on holiday, hanging on by a life thread. But the room was very, very small, especially with the bed and the sofa in the room. It felt quite, not claustrophobic, that's an over-exaggeration, but it did feel small for a hotel room. And I don't know for me personally, because we were located actually in the hotel, it felt more like a hotel experience than a holiday experience. That may have been different if I was, say, in one of the 2-story buildings around the complex, because that feels more holiday-y. I don't know, once again, personal preference, but I do think the room was quite small. Where we were positioned hotel room wise in the hotel was opposite a other hotel, and every evening there was loud music. This did stop at 11, however Mum and I are early sleepers. We try to stay up late, we really try to, but we like an early morning, so staying up late is quite hard for us. However, the music from the hotel next to us was quite loud. It was quite loud, but it did stop at 11. So pros and cons, and that depends where you're put, what room you're put in. If you do want to know what room I was in, we were in number 105. After one of my other Mexico holidays that I have done one of these for, one of my pros and cons has now become what the toilet state is like. And here, I don't feel like the toilets are that great. In the lobby, they're fine. They're newly refurbished, they're nice, but there's no nice toilet near the buffet. You have to use the spa toilet, and it just feels a bit dirty, a bit wet on the floor. It's where people are using it from the other swimming pool, and it's just a bit, it's not that nice. One of the lights hasn't been working all week, so there's only one toilet, and it's just not nice. For a buffet area, for somewhere you're eating, you want to possibly have a separate toilet from where the pool area is using and everyone else is using. And yeah, the toilets for this pool as well, although they're not as bad as that one, they're not just, I feel like they need to be a bit freshened up. They feel a bit not so clean. And yeah, that's a bit of a con for me. I found that the Wi-Fi around the pools has been good, in the lobby has been good, but as soon as I get to my bedroom, the Wi-Fi for me personally, I don't know if it's just my phone, the Wi-Fi did not reach, and I feel like that's where you mainly want your Wi-Fi. At the end of the day, just for a bit of doom scrolling or whatever. But once again, that's a personal preference. So the Wi-Fi's been okay, just a bit sketchy. Also, I would have thought that the Wi-Fi would be better in my room because we're literally above the lobby, but who knows? who knows. Now on to the pros. My first pro is there is a lot of seating everywhere, whether that's daytime or evening. There are 3 pools and there's a lot of space around those pools, and those pools are used for different things, whether you want activities and to be with the children in the activity pool, or whether you want a bit more of a fancy pool near the lobby and it's a little bit warmer with a bar, although it's not a swim up bar, it is a pool bar, just not a swim up bar, or whether you want an adult quiet pool where I am now. There's preference for whoever you are with, and there are a lot of seating. And in the evening when there's the entertainment, whether it's around the mini disco or whether it is near the lobby with jazz music or in the lobby with air conditioning, there's a lot of seating. So I feel like there hasn't been a rush to get sunbeds, there hasn't been a rush in the evening to get seating, to feel comfortable, and I think that's been rather nice. Along the same lines as that, it is a resort that suits all sorts of needs, whether that's a couple or whether that's a family. We have found that there have been a lot of families here, but it hasn't felt intrusive in a sense of our peace. There's families when you want families around, and there's not families when you don't want families around, or I can see as a family, if you wanted a family holiday, that this would be a good place. There's a lot for families and there's a lot of quiet area, and they've kind of spaced it out well enough that for whatever your needs, there is that. The food has been tasty, it's been very flavoursome. We have found it on some odd occasions not to be piping hot, but all in all, I'm a fussy eater and I've had a lot to eat. There's a lot of risottos and rices and flavours and fish and meat and bread. Whatever you want, your heart's content, it is there. So we have found the food actually quite nice. So that's been a pro. I have got one last day here in Corfu, so I will make sure anything that I have forgot to put it in the comments below in the pros and cons list there. And once again, if you found this helpful, please like, please subscribe, please comment, because I would love to do more of these. I recently went away to Mexico. I've got one in Mexico, I've got some in Dominican Republic, I've got Lanzarote, I've got Fuerteventura. So make sure you head over to my channel and check out the other holiday vlogs if you are looking for a holiday. And on that note, if you do go on holiday, I hope you have a lovely one, and hopefully I'll see you soon.